Hi everyone, it's Saturday night. I'm here with Positive Parenthood and I want to talk to you about manipulation because everybody keeps telling me that their kids are manipulating them. And the other day I was in a grocery store with one of my kids and I felt like she was manipulating me. So I want to tell you that story, and the reason I want to tell you that, share that story with you, is because manipulation is not typically a thing that our kids are doing to us. Most of the time, most of our kids are really trying very hard to do what they're supposed to be doing and sort of please us, make us happy. That's not to say that the feeling of being manipulated is not real. It can be super real to feel manipulated. And I think it's important for us as parents to be able to separate the feeling of being manipulated with what is actually happening for the child. Because of course it affects how we respond, right? Okay, so why don't I start off by telling you this story. So I took one of my twins, they're 3.5. I took her to the grocery store with me, and it was sort of late. It was dinner time, and we were just getting one item that I'd forgotten for dinner. So we go. Sorry, my littlest one is not asleep yet, and she's over there with Sam, sort of playing, or I don't know what they're doing. So we go, and this grocery store has bins at it, like the bins that have candy and nuts and like all this stuff. And she sees a bin with gummy worms in it, and she wants gummy worms. And I say, no, we're not getting gummy worms. Today we're only buying like this one item for dinner. I think it was ground turkey. So she says again, I want gummy bears. And I say again, we're only getting ground turkey. And then she sort of pauses for a minute and she thinks. And then she looks at me with big old eyes and says, Mama, my heart really wants the gummy bears. In my heart, I want the gummy bears or gummy worms, whatever they were. Okay, so then I was like, ugh. I felt manipulated. I felt like this child is manipulating me, and that's why she's saying like in her heart she wants it, and all like blah 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 blah. So then that made me a little bit mad, right? And I sort of just wanted to say no again. And I thought about it, and I thought, whatever, like she can have the gummy worms. So I let her have the gummy worms. And before we get into the manipulation, I also want to just note that if you're going to give in to something, then you want to give in quickly. So I said no once. Then she asked for the heart way, and I said yes. If I had said no already 10 times and then she asked the heart way, it would not have been a good idea for me to give in, because once you give in once, or wait, I'm sorry, not once you give in once. The longer you stretch it before you give in, like the longer they learn that they have to hold it. So if I teach her, but if I show her that she has to keep asking 100 times, and on the 101st time I'll give in, then for the next time she's gonna ask 104 times. Okay, so if you're gonna give in early, and you can give in, like you can do that productively. So what I did was say, okay, Mama changed her mind. I changed my mind. This time you can pick up gummy bears. Do you want to get 2 gummy bears for you and 2 gummy bears for each of your sisters, or 3 gummy bears for you and 3 gummy bears for each of your sisters? And she actually picked 2. So we got 6 gummy bears. And like kids will change their mind too. So it's important for them to have a model of how to do that. The other thing is that, you want to give in quickly, and then you want to show them like, I changed my mind. Sometimes that happens, not always. Okay, so now let's talk about the manipulation piece. So she was not manipulating me. She's 3.5. She doesn't have the brain power or like the capacity to think through so many steps that she could have actually been manipulating me. So what was she doing? So a lot of times I ask my children what their heart is saying. So like if they are saying like, I want to do this, or I don't want to do this, or I don't know if I want this or this, or they can't decide, I say, what does your heart want? Or, like if they're feeling sad, I might say like, how's your heart feel today, right now? It looks like maybe your heart feels a little sad or something like that. Okay, so this is a language that I have taught my children, and I have also taught them and encouraged them to follow their heart. And I've said that to them. So we're in the grocery store. She's not me. She's not thinking dinner is going to be in 35 minutes. She's not thinking don't spoil your dinner. She's not thinking, oh, we have a dentist appointment next week, cut down on the sugar. She's not thinking any of those things. She sees a delightful bin of gummy bears. She's 3.5. She wants a gummy bear. So she is trying to get it. And it's actually like a sophisticated language move for her to use words that I have taught her in order to ask for something. So I want to applaud that. Like, what fun she's having with language. She's taken language, hey, Michelle, that I've taught her and using it to get something from me. She's not manipulating me. She doesn't have the capacity to do that yet. Okay. So she asked for the gummy worms, and then I feel manipulated, but that is my feeling. Okay, so I'm feeling manipulated because I have all of these other things going on in my head. We're going to eat in 35 minutes. We have a dentist appointment next week. We have to hurry and get through the store because the other kids are at home and they're hungry, like blah, 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 all these adult concerns. None of those is in her mind. All she wants is the gummy bears. And so she's not manipulating me. And my task as the grown-up, so she's done here. She's calm. She's fine. She just wants some gummy bears. Her comments make me escalate so that I start to feel activated and kind of in the red zone of co-regulation. And then my responsibility is to bring myself back down because remember, we co-regulate with our kids. So if I'm up here and my kid is down here, I'm going to bring them back, and like we had continued to interact like that, she would have come up here with me and gotten really activated. So imagine if I'm feeling manipulated and so I like say something to her, I yell at her, I get mad at her, whatever, about the gummy bears, and then she gets really upset, and then we're both kind of activated and upset and in the red zone. It's totally not going to work. Okay, so I need to find out, I need to figure out a way to bring myself down from this like manipulation feeling so that I can interact with her in a calm way and maintain her calm state. It doesn't have to be, yes, you can have the gummy bears. It could be, this time we're not doing gummy bears. Yeah, I know you really love gummy bears. I could use the 3 yeses tool where I ask 3 questions that she can respond yes to in order to show her that I hear her. I could use any number of other positive parenthood tools. I could just hold the space so that she can have the feeling that she has about the gummy bears. And decide, I've set the boundary, so that's what we're doing. I'm sorry, like today's a ground turkey only day. Okay, whatever it is. But whichever route I take, the most important piece is that if I'm feeling manipulated and activated, I'm up here, I need to calm myself down and then I choose one of the paths. Okay, because if I'm feeling manipulated, that means that's a signal, a sign, a way to know that I'm in the red zone. And remember, we co-regulate with our kids, so they're going to come up to the red zone with us, and then neither of us is going to have access to the thinking, language, capacity to rationalize any of that we need in order to finish the grocery trip and deal with the gummy bear situation, regardless of whether I get her the gummy bears or I don't get her the gummy bears. Okay, so that is my thing on manipulating. Sometimes grown-ups manipulate in general. Like for the vast majority of children, they're not manipulating. Once they're like teenagers or older, then they might. But always when you have that feeling that you're being manipulated, I want you to take a step back and try to figure out what's going on for you, bring yourself down, and then try to figure out what is happening for the child or the teen that is making them behave that way, so that you can address the root cause instead of just addressing the behavior, incessantly asking for gummy bears or whatever it is. Okay, folks, so that's just some thoughts on manipulation for you tonight. I hope that you're well, and we will talk again soon. Have a good Saturday night.